All right, beautiful humans, welcome back to another LebTalk under this whole umbrella of the Naked Sunday Fun Day. Oh, it is Naked Sunday Fun Day, whatever. We're Leb talking today. We're talking about our Summer Lovin series here, and we're talking about relationships. How do we keep the relationships thriving during this time? Now, one of the big issues that come up during the summer is the often complete obliteration of schedules. What your routines were during the school year. We're just going to use that because it's still how most people think of things. Though as adults, most adults still have their jobs and their routines throughout the year. But this is a time where people throw in big vacations and they have their getaways and everybody's up and down and schedules just get weird. Oftentimes in all of this, in a rush to cater to all the kids' demands and all the other open-ended things, as we leave our significant others and our relationships in general, we leave them really open-ended. We don't have some structure. We don't maintain some consistency around this during the summer. Now, sometimes that's to an effect of we spend a ton of time together. We have a lot of, ironically, it's volatility in the direction of success in one direction. But that also could be bad in a sense that it might set us up for a letdown when we go back to the old routine. So hopefully at this point, when it comes to this, we've already established what do you need as a minimum in your relationship to make sure that let's start with your significant other, your spouse, one or the other, however you're going to define it. Hopefully you've defined what a minimum effective dosage is. What's the minimum you need in your relationship every week, every month, wherever long, often is, whatever the dosage is, that you're going to connect on just the two of you being you, on you building your relationship. So one of the most common things I ever talk to people about is like, hey, you need a date night. Go have a date night. Usually the first time I say that to people is like their head's spinning, like, what's that? Forgot about what that was. I'm like, that thing that you did when you started getting together, going on dates, hanging out, enjoying each other's company, and like, ooh, I'm inspired. I feel like I couldn't keep my hands off them. That kind of idea. If you don't have that in place already, maybe start there. A weekly date night. And it doesn't mean you need to go out. You can have date night in. With the summer, it could be grilling, it could be outdoor activities, it could be whatever. There's an infinite amount of things you can do, but put something with you and your significant other on a schedule, on a routine. If you go away on a family vacation, keep the routine. Still schedule some time so the two of you can connect. You two are the ones building the life together. You two are the leaders of the family. You two need to be on the same page. The same way we've already talked about your own health, your own self-care, that relationship to yourself. Well, cool. Those two people that are making sure they're showing up whole now can, one, support each other in their own endeavors for their own self-care, but also now can talk about where they're at, where they want to go with their life, what they care about, what they're inspired by, feel loved, feel appreciated, feel valued, feel validated, and feel connected. That energy is going to trickle down into the rest of your family. Remember that. It is that order of operations. The kids are going to want to do stuff. Got it. You need to hold the line and set some boundaries so that you and your significant other can spend time together. Them seeing a vision of a loving, happy parental unit is going to speak volumes. You're modeling what a relationship looks like, a healthy and happy relationship. It is incumbent upon you to set those boundaries so you can model that. Crazy. I know. It's the same thing in all leadership. If you don't model the behaviors, people don't know what to follow. Do it. Whether you're going to go on a date night, to a restaurant, to a movie, to whatever it is, could be a night in, could send the kids out somewhere, whatever it is. Even on vacation, if you take a week-long vacation, schedule a night where the two of you can just be you. What's that minimum? At least if it's a one, awesome. Maybe you get a little bit fun if you have the resources, if you had that success in your life. Where can you level up an experience? What's something you knew you wanted to try? Bring that excitement. Maybe it might be wanting to dial back and just have a quiet evening looking out at the stars together. I don't know. What's your idea of fun and excitement? Maybe there's a new hobby the two of you pick up. Maybe you have a game night. There's a ton of things. You could just type in date night ideas into the search engine machine, to the internet machine, and something will come up. Do that. Then you want to take a look at, let's go to the kids, the family. Let's go to the family and the extended family and all that. Everybody's going to have flexible schedules. People are still going to want you in certain places. Work backwards from what's optimal for you and your family. You already have job responsibilities. You have self-care responsibilities. You have your immediate family, your kids and your significant other. If you have kids, cool that you don't have that. If you don't have kids, you don't have that variable to consider, but like even with your significant other, consider that. You're also going to have friends. And we're going to talk about that in a second. So family and friends, you're going to want to allocate that time. Work backwards from what is optimal. Ask yourself in all of your experiences, when do you get burnt out? When do you feel like you reach your threshold? If it's after your second big weekend of the month, 2 weekends in a row, you know that you're fried. And if you were to go to a third one, you'd be miserable and cranky and well, then just work off of that knowledge. Plug in your calendar that way. Tell people when you're available, the people that you immediately want, like who are the people you want to make sure you have a connection with through the summer? Who are the 5 people that, whether it's your friends or whatever you got. And maybe it's all overlapped into one thing. If you do like, you go on vacation with a couple friends or some other family members, whatever it is, like you might have some overlap. That's cool. But look at that from reverse. When is your energy optimal? And put in only so much that your energy will be optimal at all of those things. Put gaps, build those gaps. If you're saying like 2 weekends in a row is actually a lot for me, but 2 a month is okay. Okay, so maybe on the first and the third weekends of that month, you can schedule stuff because you're going to be able to recover. You're going to feel refreshed. You'll be able to take care of your work. You'll still be able to do fun stuff at home where that doesn't require a lot of energy. And you can show up to that weekend 2 weeks later and you're in a better spot. It takes a little bit of self-awareness and you have to be very honest with yourself. You're going to possibly have to say no. The more you get ahead of this and you say, hey, this is what we're working backwards from, and you just tell people, hey, we're busy. They'll have to wait until the fall if they don't get on your schedule. It's got to start from that. You need to protect your time. People want a lot of things, but when it comes, a lot of times they're just reacting. And if you let other people with reactive behaviors guide your decision-making process, when they they're clearly not aware of your energy because they're not even aware of their own energy, you're going to get pulled down into that as well. Work backwards from that. And sometimes it's hard to communicate it because it might be the first time you say no. You can say, no, honestly, we're just booked up for the whole summer right now. What we can do is let's get something on the books in the fall. If they're really caring about making sure they have a connection, they'll find a way to make it work. I've seen it happen with clients. I've seen it happen with plenty of other things. If they really care and it really matters that much, they will get something on the books, and they will know now that your time is precious because you made your time valuable. This is where things get a little bit messy for a lot of people because they don't know how to communicate it because they've never been used to setting up boundaries with their loved ones. They're not used to making certain people priorities because now, and this is really just a consequence of your own success, you've accumulated enough human resources into your life from a business standpoint and from a relational standpoint because you had enough time in your life to accumulate that. Now you need to protect it. You've said a lot of yeses to a lot of people and you've made some connections in a lot of places, but now to dial it back, they need to see that your time is truly valuable. How you communicate, that's a bit of an art and there's a science to it. Don't get me wrong, but it's the same way you communicate to your staff. How would you say it with empathy? Hey, I can't do this, but this is when I can. They're either going to respect your time or not. They're going to value you or not. Either way, you get your answer. What hopefully they can see in the way that you start protecting your time, they can start to understand, especially if you say, hey, I want to make sure I'm giving you the best version of me. Like, I want to make sure I'm showing up with proper energy because I care about you and I love you. And I actually think you deserve me to be fully present. I just know I won't be that. When they start hearing you and seeing you modeling those types of behaviors and how you protect your time with love and empathy and kindness and true compassion and true self-awareness, you're also in turn modeling and giving them permission to do the same thing for themselves. Now think about what happens when they show up having better managed their time, better manage their energy, better manage their resources. When they show up to you, the relationship has a better chance of flourishing. You can get right to the connection that you were seeking because you know what you want out of it. And both of you are clear-headed enough so you can get through all the fluff quickly. You're not having to sift through chaotic messes, and you can just be there, be present, be fully engaged with each other. And that's really cool, whether it's family, friends, or the like. Now, especially if you're going to manage time with kids, this is important because you're showing them they truly don't have an understanding. This is their first go around, but you can also show how to model that in a way that allows them to have that skill set and start building that skill set for the rest of their life. So my challenge to you here is to look at this threefold. Number one, make sure the rock is taken care of, your significant other. Put that first on your schedule. Know exactly what you need at least at a minimum so that your relationship can still continue to feel connected and grow through the summer with all the other chaos. Let that be the anchor point. Let that be the stability that you build from, not the other way around. Then take a look at the summer and take a look and reflect on your energy cycles in the past. How much is optimal for you so you don't get burnt out from fun stuff? Choose and a space out and allot times for that. Then fill in the family and friends time from there. You will not be perfect in this because you are a human being. But if this is your first go around, now this will start to allow you to know when and where and how and why you do bend and break. And you might realize you might have been wrong on your initial assessment. You might learn you had more capacity. That's awesome. But you also might learn, where do your communication cycles fail? What do you need to prepare for next time? Who do you need to address differently? All of those things will come into play. So as you do this, give yourself permission to not be perfect. This is an act of love, hence Summer Lovin. You are loving on yourself. You're loving on your loved ones, not just for now, but also for the future. Take the time to cultivate your life and plan your schedule in a way that allows for everybody the best opportunity to be successful in sharing that time together, so that the relationship that you say is important actually gets the trust and the love and the attention that it deserves. They're going to thank you for it in the long run, and maybe even the short run too. Hope you found some value in that. Go ahead, take on those tasks, put that into action right away, sooner rather than later. It will trickle into every other season of your life, not just the summer. Hope you found some value. Be curious to see what comes of this. Hope you enjoyed, what's this, round 3 of Summer Lovin', relationships. That's all I got for right now. Until next time, I remind you to love everybody.